Hi, okay, my name is Dana and I want to take you through the fundamentals of Pilates, which really does come down to posture. So I'm going to take you through the lateral breath that we work on in Pilates, where we breathe into the rib cage. I'm going to take you through the pelvic tilt, and I'm also going to take you through how to really engage through those deep core muscles which stabilise the front and the back of our lumbar spine. We're also going to work on aligning through the spine. So we're not focusing too much on the perfect posture, we just want to really elongate and reset. So we're going to start with our feet hip width apart. I'd like you to have a look at your feet and just make sure that your toes are pointing forwards, okay? And we want the weight to be through the toes and through the heels. So let's just start by lifting the heels and then lifting the toes. We're just going to shift that weight forwards and backwards just to see how it feels. Just going to move that weight around. And then when you're ready to, we're just going to plant those feet down. So think about the toes and the heels. Really ground yourself into the mat. Want the knees to be nice and soft, okay? So we don't want to be too loose, we don't want to be too tense at all. We want this pelvis, these hips to be really nice and level. So we don't want to be standing on one leg. And let's do some shoulder rolls back. So we're lifting through the chest. And we're very gently just gliding the shoulder blades right back and down that rib cage. So we're starting to activate the muscles in the back, which really helps to improve our posture. If you have any tension there, just go really easy. So just listen to your body during this session. When you're ready to, roll those shoulders right back and down that rib cage. So imagine you're just cracking a walnut in between your shoulder blades. Now we want to have the arms nice and relaxed. So think about the shoulders pinning back, but the arms are just dangling by your sides. Hands either sides of the outer thigh. Now lift through that chest. Can you feel how that really helps to elongate through that spine? And then imagine a rope is pulling you up really tall from the crown of your head. So your chin is slightly tucked and we're all nice and in line with our body. From here, we're going to work through the lateral breath. So in Pilates, we breathe into the rib cage. So we breathe in through the nose and we breathe out through the mouth. And this is a great way of really activating the transverse abdominis, which is your deep core muscle on the front of your spine. It comes from the lower part of the ribs all the way down to the bottom of the pelvis. It's a really long, lean muscle. So let's take our hands onto the rib cage because a mind-body connection is crucial in our Pilates practice. Now we're going to take a big breath into the ribs and blow the air out. Okay, feel those ribs expand. Breath in. Close the eyes if you want to. And breath out. Breath in. Breath out. You may even feel that core engage as you exhale. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Feel those ribs expand, they're getting wider, and as we exhale, make the waist really small. Let's go for one more. So big breath in and breath out. Now relax here because now we're going to bring in the pelvic floor. So men and women have pelvic floor muscles, and the pelvic floor muscles actually run underneath the pelvis. So if you imagine from the front to the back like a sling, and what we want to focus on is lifting those muscles. So imagine you're dying for a wee, there's no toilet around, you need to hold it. It's those muscles that we want to engage. So we're going to go for 5 contractions of the pelvic floor. So let's take the hands back onto the ribs. We're going to couple it with the breath. Nice and relaxed. We're going to take a breath in. Now, pause at the top of that breath. Lift that pelvic floor and exhale. Let the pelvic floor go. That's the hardest part. Take a breath in. Pause at the top, no rush. Lift that pelvic floor as high as you can and exhale. Let it go. 3 more, okay? So big breath in. Pause at the top, so we're getting all that air in. Lift the pelvic floor and exhale. Just a nice little switch on. Let the pelvic floor go, then take a breath in. Pause at the top, lift that pelvic floor. Let's do one more, so let it go. Take a breath in. Pause at the top, lift that pelvic floor and exhale. Relax those arms down. So could you start to feel that a little bit more as we got towards the fourth or the fifth one? It does take a bit of practice. Now, we've focused on elongating through the spine. We've switched on our abdominal muscles. We've also thought about really opening through the chest. So now let's think about the lower part of the spine. I'm going to go through a pelvic tilt. So feet hip width apart. Bringing your hands onto your pelvis. This is the part we want to focus on. We're going to inhale as we curl the tip of the tailbone underneath and down to the floor. Then we're going to exhale as we curl it behind. And again, inhale, curl under. So a really small movement, but this is great for easing off any pressure on the lower back and to also really lengthen through the lower part of the spine. So through the sacroiliac joint, just at the top of the pelvis. If you ever find you're standing in a queue and you get backache, you just want to try and just bring that tailbone under, okay? It really does help to take the pressure off. And this pelvic tilt is really small. So if you do have lower back pain, maybe don't come behind you too far. We don't want to put too much pressure on the facet joints. And all we want to do with this pelvic tilt is find your neutral spine. So we want to find a point in between the two rocks. So if you imagine there's a bowl of water in your pelvis, the water's spilling out of the front, it's then spilling out of the back. Find a point where that water is nice and still, so it is not spilling. Take the hands away. Can you feel the glutes engage? Bring the shoulders back, chest is lifted. Now can you feel how that posture feels quite different? We've got muscles activating in the core and the abs, muscles activating in the glutes, muscles activating in the back. Okay, so let's just finish off with a little bit of spinal mobilization. So we're going to take a breath in here, so keep that pelvic tilt. Then we're going to exhale as we reach gently. Inhale to center, exhale, reach. And again. Inhale to center, exhale on the stretch. Let's do one more on each side. And last one. Take the arms across the chest, keep the pelvis, the hips facing forwards. We're going to inhale as we twist one way, exhale to gently twist the other. Inhale to twist the other way, exhale, twist. So can you feel how we're just opening up through that spine? You may feel it on either side of the back of the spine. You may feel it in these obliques as well, just down the sides of the front. Take the head with you, keep the hips facing forwards. Now turn the hips with you, so make it a bigger movement, but still focus on your breath. So we let the breath guide us in our Pilates practice, which means you always work at your pace. Take the head with you. And let's do one more on each side. Back to center. So we're just going to finish off with some roll downs, and this is how we generally start our classic Pilates practice. So remember that posture. Feet hip width apart, tailbone slightly tucked, that pelvic tilt, mind-body connection. Shoulders are back, that rope is pulling us up tall. We're going to take the fingers just onto the neck as a guide. We want to roll down and open up through all of the spine. So we're going to hook the chin to look down to the floor. Take that hand away. Now bring the shoulders forward and round through the spine. Belly button in. Think about lengthening the spine, okay? We're going to inhale as we gently roll down as far as you can. And then we're going to exhale as we roll up. One vertebrae at a time. Keep that belly button in. Roll the shoulders back at the top, looking ahead. And again. Inhale, bring that finger, that hand in if you need as a guide. Exhale up. Let's do 2 more of these roll downs, okay? So fingers on the neck if you need. Inhale, nice big C shape through the spine. Exhale up, keep the belly button in. So again, we're engaging through that transverse abdominis. Last one. And relax, roll those shoulders back. Perfect, all done. So they are the fundamentals of Pilates for improving posture, for spinal alignment, which involves actually bringing in those deep core muscles, also the glutes and the muscles on the back. So I hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again very soon.